fellow veterans, distinguished guests, family and friends, aloha, kakahiaka, kako, good morning everyone. Good morning. It is an honor to be here and to see each and every one of you on this beautiful day in Keaʻau, on the doorstep of Puna. And as I look to our flag, honoring America's fallen heroes, I am reminded of how important this weekend is to those that gave the ultimate sacrifice for our country. And I would like to give a special mahalo to the Kiodan of Puna Hongwanji, whose tireless work make this annual ceremony possible. Before I move on, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge everyone whose lives have been forever changed in Puna and throughout our island due to the ongoing volcanic eruptions and destructive lava flows. To the 82 families who have lost their homes, families who have been displaced, know that you are not alone. We are with you, and as an island community, we will get through this together. To the hundreds of county, state, federal, military, both active duty and National Guard, police, fire, Red Cross, first responders, veterans of VFW Post 3830 in Nanavale, churches and our community volunteers who have literally given all of themselves over these last 24 days and will continue to do so in the coming months. I want to say a deep and heartfelt mahalo nui loa. As I look out into this audience, I see a broad spectrum of patriots, those that have served or are serving in our armed forces and our nation's wars, families that have lost a loved one, friends that have lost a friend, soldiers that have lost a fellow soldier. And so my fellow veterans, service members, mahalo for allowing me this privilege to deliver this keynote address to honor those who have sacrificed their lives while serving our grateful nation. On this Memorial Day weekend, it is important that we pause and remember to honor the sacrifices of the many for the freedoms that we all enjoy today. This year marks my 17th year as a commissioned officer in the United States Air Force, Hawaiʻi Air National Guard. And for all but 7 months of my career, it has seen a nation that has been at war. I was in Air Force pilot training, Columbus Air Force Base, Mississippi, on September 11th, 2001, as I watched with my fellow cadets terrorists attack our country and our American way of life. Little did I know within 3 years I would find myself flying combat missions in the mountains of Afghanistan, transporting weapons and supplies to our troops at forward operating bases, moving injured soldiers to the Army's hospital at Landstuhl in Germany, or bringing home caskets draped with the American flag to Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. I was just 30 years old, a young first lieutenant, and my life, like millions of lives across America, were changed forever. Now, through the course of my military career, I've always been drawn and captivated by our nation's wars, our battlefields, great leaders. And over that time, I've made a point to visit these hallowed grounds so I could see and feel for myself what those brave men and women must have felt or saw themselves. I have visited the Ardennes, the Black Forest of Germany, walked the Band of Brothers streets of Bastogne and Luxembourg, and stood at the site of the Malmedy massacre in Belgium. I've traveled to the great battlefields of the Pacific at Wake Island, Guam, Kwajalein, and Okinawa, and like many of you, have been to the hallowed tomb of the USS Arizona, where 1,177 sailors lost their lives on that day of infamy in 1941. Why would anyone go out of their way to visit museums, battlefields, and cemeteries of wars from years past? For many, they come to mourn the loss of a family member, a friend, or fellow soldier, sailor, leatherneck, or airman. For others, like myself, they visit these historic sites so as to gain a deeper connection to historical events that moved a nation and helped shape our world. However, no matter why they come, no matter what they hope to find, no matter what they aim to see, when they visit these great memorials, they're often humbled by the presence of those who are forever represented there. For those that have walked the somber grounds of Arlington or Punch Bowl, they quickly gain a sense of the magnitude of our nation's loss while realizing the true commitment on the part of those who have served and died in our nation's conflicts. Throughout the course of our nation's history, our sons and daughters have donned a uniform, taken up arms, and fought and died to preserve our rights and our freedoms. They are our nation's best and brightest, and we cannot help but mourn their passing as we celebrate their victories. From the birth of our nation dating back to the American Revolution, families, friends, towns, and communities have gathered just like this to honor the fallen in their own way. It was not until after the Civil War that America began to collectively honor those that gave and sacrificed their all. Decoration Day, as it was called back then, was a day when the living decorated the graves of the fallen with flowers. In 1971, our country nationally recognized this day as Memorial Day, the last Monday in May, when we honor great examples of heroism, self-sacrifice, and patriotism. This morning, we honor the service and lives of our veterans from Puna who were killed in action. And I would like to recognize just a few. Soldiers like Private Isaac Hale, who joined the United States Army, fought in the Korean War, died on the 38th parallel on July 12, 1951. He is forever remembered at a beach park in Pohiki. Or Moses Kuahivinui Jr. of Kalapana, who made the ultimate sacrifice at 19 years of age in Vietnam. Staff Sergeant Shoichi Nakahara, who died in Okinawa on August 13, 1945, at 28 years of age, just 2 days before Japan's unconditional surrender on August 15, 1945, otherwise known as VJ Day. Finally, Army Specialist Ray Michael Furman II, who was raised in Volcano, went to Waiakea High School, was an Army combat medic who was killed by a roadside bomb at 28 years old in Samarra, Iraq, on August 18, 2005. Ray was awarded, post-death, the Silver Star for Valor, our nation's third highest military honor. Because just 5 months before he died, he saved the lives of 6 friendly Iraqi commandos when they were ambushed, while also providing aid to the wounded. Ray left a wife behind. So this weekend, just as in years gone past, we decorate each memorial, each gravesite with a flag, flowers, or a lei. We lower our flags to half-staff, and we pay a tribute to those that gave their all in service to a grateful nation. The observance of their names, the acknowledgement of their contributions during their shortened lives, and the recognition of their sacrifice is the greatest honor we can give them. When we think about them, for a moment, they live again. In our memories, in our imagination, and in our hearts, while stirring up our pride, our patriotism, and maybe a tear. As their remarkable valor and sacrifice is etched in our memories, they live on forever. As I conclude my remarks here today, I'm reminded of Gettysburg, the sanctified grounds where thousands of our country's young men fought not a common enemy, but each other, and thousands perished on that day defending what they believed was the appropriate course for our young nation. In 10 short sentences, less than 3 minutes, President Abraham Lincoln delivered one of the greatest speeches in American history. And I would like to end on a quote from that historic day. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead, we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth. May God bless the fallen. May God bless you all. May He bless a grateful nation and all those who serve. May He bless our United States and these special islands we all call home. Mahalo.